How you guys doing? I'm back from the doctors, and I'm not 100%, but I am better enough to just try and get through this Empire merge without dying. And we are going to be discussing, obviously, all of the groups. We'll go through all of them so you can see them on screen, as well as, more importantly, going through the dates and even some information from the Age of Empires mobile dev team that they sent over to us, the content creators, just to help you guys with any of the community questions that most of you keep asking even on our videos. So smash like, comment, and subscribe. Let's dive into today's video. So firstly, I will apologize if you see me pause or all. It's just me. I am ill. I'm suffering really bad from my IBS. So sometimes I feel like I'm going to be sick and I just need to rest, right? So when it comes to the merge news though, what is happening? Well, firstly, you need to know the dates. April 12th is when your merge preview starts. It's been explained here. What that means is, just for hypothetical explanation, if you're in Empire 161, you will see that you're going to be merging with Empire 165 and 179 into Era 61. So this is where your first day, April 12th, comes in. You get to see your new neighbors, your new friends. You'll probably be able to jump into their empire and say hello like you normally would do and all of that jazz. When it comes to April 13th and April 15th, though, this is where the warm-up stage of the server merge occurs. This is when, if you've not checked it out, it should come up on screen, hopefully. The Age of Empires mobile YouTube video came out, which explains this 2-day event, which gives you a bunch of rewards for actually just participating in there, right? Then April 16th comes, and this is when the maintenance is coming. So maintenance comes on April 16th, 7 UTC till 10, and as you can see, the actual duration may vary. So this is just, as anyone knows, it could take 2 hours, it could take 3 hours, it could take 4 hours. We don't know. It's just how smooth the process goes, but they've got a good estimation. It's going to be this amount of time. Important reminders, all personal resources and items will be retained. Please make sure to claim all available event rewards before the maintenance begins, as well as maintenance will take place during the merge, so you will not be able to log in during that time. After the merge is complete, the official server will launch a series of bonus events to help the governors grow quickly in the brand new era, as they call in these merged events. And you can see down at the bottom here is these 4 things that they were talking about. So the first one is Dawn's Gift. It gives you a mail, whatever that is. This mail is going to have some freebies in there, which is something better than nothing. But Alliance Glory, this is the first time this is going to come back up on April 16th all the way to April 23rd. If you guys don't remember what the Alliance Glory event is, it's kind of when all of the alliances kind of compete against each other in PvE and sometimes PvP tasks, depending on what the tasks are showcasing, right? It could be spending speed ups, spend money, it could be just farming, get helps, it could be all sorts of stuff, right? And by doing that, you're going to participate and get a rank 1. So you can kind of see who is a little bit more competitive and up for it in the early phase, which I kind of love. But then you got the Pioneer, the Path, right? This is April 16th again, and then Preparation Supply, April 16th. So these two also come. The difference is these two bottom ones lasts for 10 days, while the Alliance Glory only lasts for 7 days. So again, some new info, some new events, some new freebies, right? So that's pretty much all of the data stuff needed to know about this bollocks, right? So now let's go over the actual dev news. And I think the dev news that they sent to us was really good. I mean this. It was actually good, and it was very insightful. Let's say that, right? There's 3 major questions that we're gonna talk about, right? So the first one is, as you guys can imagine, as many people have asked, how the fuck was these decided, right? How did the devs group these servers and merge them together? Because as you guys know, I did give you my opinion earlier on the week on how I thought they was going to do it, right? And they actually replied pretty much identically to what I said. They're going to base it on your overall power and your activity levels on your account. However, they're also introducing the development stage of accounts, meaning if certain accounts had multiple King Arthurs or T8s unlocked, right, and other servers just didn't have T8s or King Arthurs, they were trying to figure out a way to make it so those guys had these guys and these guys had all the firepower but no activity came together, right? And I think that is the best way of doing it. Even though we would have liked to potentially choose where we wanted to merge, many people would have known the super servers, like the top 5 servers, would have just tried to merge together no matter what and let everyone else just kind of fry against them, which just isn't as fun and as fair as it could be, right? So I like the fact that out of 298 servers, the devs merged 92 of them with a data-driven model based on overall power, activity levels, and development stage. So kind of like that. So nothing here that you're seeing is random. The devs hand-selected, picked this as their choices, right? What if, though, you don't like your group? What if you don't like it, right? What if the merge group you've just got into you don't like? Let's just say hypothetically, and this isn't true, but hypothetically, let me just say Empire 9 and Empire 10. Let me just say I was like, fuck 10 are cockends, you're all cucks, fuck you all, I didn't like you, and we've been like this for the last like 6 months and we just hated each other. Well, now out of funny turn of events, the 2 empires that hate each other are now having to be friends, and this could cause obviously a bunch of stuff that I'm going to talk about too. However, Deb said if you are in a merge that you do not like, don't worry, May comes, we've got migration. Oh fucking yes, migration is coming, and the thing is, it's an absolute huge deal, this migration, compared to the last 2, and you'll see why. A migration event is coming in May, and this time there is no zone restrictions. You'll be able to freely move to any post-merged empire, so even if you're not thrilled with the initial result, you still have a chance to adjust and move to a new home. So that is fucking sick. Why is that fucking sick? It's sick because you really do want to take a look at these empires, right? You really need to pay attention to who is where in these empires, because if you like me, right, and you like Empire 10 or Empire 45 in the past, well, look, you could in theory migrate to our empire, right? And maybe you was in this empire down here, Empire 40, 26, and 27. Maybe you just didn't like the way this empire was being set up. Maybe eternal wars happen. I don't know. Anything can happen, right? Imagine something bad happens, right? You can at least migrate out, and I actually think that is sick, because then it doesn't matter where you are on here. If you in theory want to, because this is post merge, by the way, you should be able to merge over here down to these newer servers, and that is insane that they're allowing in theory the ability to migrate from one of the merge servers that you're in currently to any of the other post-merge servers that are here on screen. That is huge, because you got to think, if you're a player and you did migrate into a server that might not be time-friendly for your zone, you can now at least plan ahead and migrate somewhere, right? And there's good examples of like things like this happening all the way through all of these merge groups, which we'll go through in a moment. So I did want to bring that up. I really wanted to talk about that because I think that makes sense, right? The fact that if you don't like the merge, you're not stuck there still, you can migrate. And at least now though, even if you migrate away and you create a dead server, as some people might say, there's way less servers, right? So like, even if you migrate anywhere you go to, you're bringing up that competitive level, and overall the balancing of these Stellar Glory seasons, especially against some of the newer servers like 266 and 272, big shout out to you guys were fucking insane to see these global Taiwanese servers going mental on this game, right? It's made us global servers need to work together now, right? So I kind of like the fact that if you don't like the merge, you can migrate. So there you go, right? So moving on, let's talk about some other bits, right? You guys obviously worried of civil wars, right? And another good example of this is actually 52. Really good example before we break down all of the merge groups. Empire 52, 56, and 78. I am not saying there's going to be a civil war. I am not saying there's going to be any bad blood there. But what it does is create a problem, which is you've got Empire 56 and 78, which are double Korean servers, against Empire 52, which is a European server. And the thing is, in Desolate Desert and Primordial Conflict, this makes a lot more sense, and it's really good. Because you got to think, in Desolate Desert, well, the Europeans can take over the European time zone, and then when they start to go to sleep, when they are tying down, hey, welcome Korea. You're waking up and you're taking over the reins. And it's really good that your overall era, right, era 26, has this 24-hour uptime that you're able to use in events, right? Yes, sometimes, maybe in a Mightiest Empire event, you don't get your time slot, but hey, you can sometimes talk to them, be diplomatics. You know, it is a diplomatic game. You got to talk to each other. You can't just act, right? And be like, look, let's do NEE at your time for 2 weeks in a row, and then 1 week, let's do it on our time, right? Just so we can at least, you know, kind of split the reign on the time and stuff, and just work it out. I think there's a lot of empires, honestly, that have this situation where there's maybe 2, maybe 3 empires that might be one nation heavy. So that means it might be very European heavy, very Korean or Chinese or Taiwanese heavy, or American heavy, right? It could be all of these different countries and places in the world heavy, and then you might feel like you're the odd one out. But you got to remember, you are neighbors, you are now friends, you have just joined together. So starting any civil war here is a big no-no. And why is it a big no-no? Because I've already warned you guys later on, well, not later on, earlier on this week when I made my merge video and said, listen, if you start a civil war in this merge, you are the problem. No one else, you are. Because the thing is, the whole point of the merge is to get activity and firepower together, not just one. It's supposed to bring activity and firepower together, right? And by doing that, you have a now competitive server against some of these newer ones that are going to blow you out the water. And if you are starting a civil war to burn enemies and just not have them in your empire anymore, I'm going to be honest, you're going to become the bottom and worst empire in this entire game, because no one's going to want to join or play with or even team up with an era that just isn't focused on working together. And that's clearly what this merge server is about. I know it's hard. Some people might think it's hard. I actually don't think it is. I think it's very fucking easy to communicate and work out where people can be playing, what time zones we can play in, rotating king titles, for example, and all of that. We can all do that. It's not hard, man, especially if you've been in leadership in other games. This should be fucking second nature to us all, right? So honestly, apart from that, I don't even see that many other concerns in here. And maybe you guys do have concerns. Maybe whack them down in the comments, like if you've got any issues about, you know, how to do early, you know, diplomatic talks. I can try and help you out there, you know, and give you some other facts. But let's get into the juicy bit now. Let's go over some of these errors, because I think, again, overall, when we look at any of these errors, right, from first column here to the second column in the middle, and then even going into the third column here and fourth column, I actually think 90%, maybe 95% of these mergers are fucking top notch. I'm not saying they're game breaking, they're gonna cause a blah, 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 right? I am telling you, they're fucking solid, meaning they're good. They're good mergers that have actually occurred. And with now the knowledge of potentially migrating away in May, it gives you all these new potential homes that you're not honestly tied down to anymore. And I actually think that it's a fucking sick one, right? Don't get me wrong, there is some outliers in here, which we're going to talk about now, which is obviously, even Sigs mentioned this, right? Empire 26, 27, and 40, and 42, 13, and 46. Era 13 and Era 17, arguably insane. Even my Empire, I will say, and I'm going to be the non-biased one here, I would say is actually broken. Like, Empire 9, Empire 10, and Empire 45. Actually insane. You gotta think, Empire 9 has the activity, but might lack the firepower. While Empire 10 has the firepower, but kind of lacks the activity gain, right? And then Empire 45 is like in the middle, where they've got some activity and they've got some firepower, but they've not got it all together. So putting us three together is kind of insane. However, as many people will say in the fucking comments, and I know you're going to say it, Karate's migrating. I know, right? Don't worry about it. But it's the point that these merge servers have been made, right? And like I said, there is some outliers. Like I said, Era 17 and Era, Era bloody 13. Both of these are outliers. But am I going to hate on that? No. Why would I hate on that? I understand this is like top 3 empires potentially merged together. You put the top 3 merged together, right? But let's be honest with ourselves. There needs to be a fucking top dog to beat these Taiwanese servers. They just need to be. We need a #1 server who can compete with 272 and 266. Those servers are cracked. Like, they are so cracked to watch. If you've never watched them, you do not know what you're in for, right? So the fact that we've got these kind of 2 outliers doesn't make me mad. Why? Because we got migration. That is honestly why. You gotta think, right? If you're in any of these empires, literally any of these empires, and you've got the firepower, maybe you've got a strong enough account, and you message Empire 40, Era 17, right? You message Era 17 and you go, look, I want to come and play with the fucking big dogs. You should be allowed to, right? You should be allowed to. And I know some people are going to be upset about that, but you got to remember there is power levels and just overall rankings that there's going to be, right? There's 92 errors down here, 92. So you got to think at least 10%, 20% of these servers are going to be top cut. What's that top cut going to look like? Well, obviously there's going to be some of these big ones in there, including my own empire, right? But there's also the other 80% of servers that are in that list. And guess what? Those 80% servers, I can guarantee you, when you look at some of these numbers, Empire 47, 71, 107, really good example. 79, 83, 88, another good example. There's one over here, I don't know if it's 106, I could be wrong, 106, 125, and 278, with one of the newer servers in the game. Really good, because these guys have got the players, basically, and all that. They lack the firepower, and they brought them the firepower, right? And it's the fact that you've got all of these different servers at all these different ranged of power rankings, more like this now. Imagine before the merge, we had power like this, like really far out, right? Really far out, and you wanted to migrate. That's a big range. But if we just went, boom, migrating, the consolidation here of power is so much better. And you can imagine, like, in the future, even with a migration event, it can only make these empires more healthy, right? And more importantly, it kind of does delete the inactives. It deletes the AFKs. It deletes all of those empires that literally weren't really doing anything, but it gives those players a new place to play, a new place to really care about, which is their new home, right? And I think that's fucking top notch. I actually think overall, this Empire Merge grouping has been really, really fucking good. So let's just go over them. Kingdom 1, Empire 15 and 30 goes into Era 2. You've You got Kingdom 2, Empire 2, and Empire 69 in Era 3. I believe this is Blaine's Empire. So if you're in Blaine's Empire, big shout out to you guys, because I'm pretty certain that's what you guys are. Then you've got Era 4 here, which is Kingdom 4, 16, and 29. Solid. The first 4, as you can see, Era 5, which is Kingdom 6, Kingdom 9, Empire 19, and 54. I'm sure, against 54. Like, solid, man. Era 7 is Empire 8, Kingdom 8, and Empire 31. You got Empire 1, 6, and 23. That makes Era 8. Empire 3, 7, and 36, making Era 9. Then you got 4, 5, and 18 for Era 10. This is where, if you didn't know, Milwaukee lives, the newer, my girl and content creator. We've got to promote all the content creators, don't care who you are. So there she is in Era 10. So you can see, like, everyone's in here. Me and Empire 9. You got Empire 10 and 45 in Era 11. Really fucking solid. Empire 11, 12, and 20. Really fucking solid again. Era 12. Even, as we know, one of the top cut errors here, 13, lucky 13, as I like to call it, Empire 13, 42, and 46. Like, that is an insane one. And that's got, like, you got to think Soldier Boy's over there, right, in 42 as well. So you're going to have some insane coverage now, hopefully, with your content creator in there. You got number 14 with 14, 17, and 21. Era 15 with Empire 22, 33, and 63. You got 24, 25, and 28 for Era 16. And as we know, 26, 27, and 40 now to make Era 17. Empire 32, 44, and 51 makes Era 18. Empires 34, 35, and 38. I like this one too. I wonder how Havoc and Sig feels about this one. Because this is one of their accounts, I know that, right? So I'd be really interested to see how this goes. This is Era 19. Empire 37, 108, and 182 as well for Era 20. So, like, that first column, even though it's a lot of the big fucking top 20% heavy hitters merging together, I think they've done it as best they can. And yes, there is the 2 outliers, but look, I'm not going to complain. I'm really not going to complain about the 2 outliers. I actually think I need them. I mean, I think we need them. If we don't have, I think this Empire Era 17 here, if this Era 17 doesn't exist, I'm telling you now, where it says Era, where is it? Era 91 and Era 88 or Era 74, you ain't got a fucking chance. You ain't got a chance. Because these guys, you got to remember, these eras are the Taiwanese super servers. These are the servers with the most Taiwanese players or the most King Arthurs on one server with nearly 15 all on one go. I'm just saying, this is crazy. So you need someone. We need that. We need that. I'm telling you. Even though I hate to say it, we fucking need it, boys. We need it. So this is going to be an insane firepower column. I'm going to be real. Moving into the second column, it's still very solid. 39, 61, 74, and 141. Really good for Empire 21. 41, 48, 59. Really good. 43, 53, 65. Really good. 47, 71, 107. Really good for Era 24. Empires 50, 57, and 96. Really good for Era 25. Also, Era 26, even though I know there's concerns, Empire 52, 56, and 78, I actually think is a really good, solid server because you've got that continuous uptime, right? You got the Koreans that can keep you alive during the time and keep pushing, and when they go to sleep, bro, Empire 52 wakes up. KT, our Lord Savior from Empire 393, as you guys know on my new account, he comes online, and boys, you're going to be cooking me gas. So it's one of those things where, like, it's all down to how you guys communicate and how this is, but I honestly think it's a very solid server still, right? You got 55, 58, and 77, 60, 68, and 103 for 28, and pretty good. 62, 64, 75, and 94, right? This is the only one I honestly have no information on. I mean, I don't know who fights in any of these empires. So if you're in one, please let me know if this is good or not, because I feel like this should be good if it's a 4-way. It's normally the 4-ways is where you have 4 empires that lack a load of like activity and they just whack them together. That's what it seems to be. Empire 67, 113 and 122 is era 30. Then Empire 17, 98 and 110 for era 31. Empire 72, 73, 90 and 91 going to 32. 76, 100, 102, 104 for era 33. 79, 83, 88 for 34 now. Empire 80, 85 and 86 for era 35. Empires 81, 132, 133 for era 36. And then Empire 82, 95 and 109 for era 37. And Empire 84, 87 and 216 for era 38. So you got to think, like, if in the past you was impressed with any of these empires, you got to think they have now got new neighbors. They're in a new era. And in May, if you don't like the merge you're in, you could be merging into any of these eras at the moment. And this is the first 2 columns, guys. The first 2 columns. Then you got these two. These two go even just as good. And you got to remember, yes, the power level probably of the average player has lowered compared to the global top 20%, which you've seen in the first column. But overall, you got to think, if you went against era 40, 41 and 42, I bet you this is such a much close matchup than you'll ever have. Even if it's like 40, 48 and like 55 era went against each other, it's going to be so much more closer than it used to be, with just like one empire doing all the work and everyone else not doing all, you know what I'm saying? So now everyone is working together. So absolutely nuts. Like, these are honestly crazy, and these are just like the last 2 here, last 2 columns for you guys, if you want to just see the last 2 columns. And I'll be real, I don't know too much about these newer servers up here, apart from obviously the 266, 272, the 2 Taiwanese super servers that are in here. But overall, Empire Merge, I actually think they've done good. I know some people were probably expecting nightmares, and don't get me wrong, I think the devs and Peter will laugh at this video knowing, listen, we kind of fucked up the first migration event. We understand, we did. We fucked up quite a lot. But this merge group, we didn't fuck up, because if we fucked up this, it probably ended the game, and they didn't. They actually, I think, nailed this as well as they could have done without honestly making it really imbalanced. Let's be honest, they could have made it super imbalanced and they haven't. And there is, like I said, 2 outliers, but I think we need those 2 outliers in order to fight these other big motherfuckers. And you got to remember now, the way these eras are set up, it's going to be really interesting, because you might have certain eras that are really French heavy, Spanish heavy, Turkish heavy, right? And maybe you just move to that era because you want to be with a Turkish alliance and a Turkish empire, right? There's all of that ability to do that in here now. And just because I'm here and because I can, if you'd have joined Empire 9, 10, and 11 over here in era fucking 11, boys, I would. Just because, as many people know, we do have one of the largest Turkish, if not the largest Turkish alliance in the global servers of this migration or merge. So really cool. Can't wait to see all the, you know, things that can happen. And just to kind of end the video on one last concern I know people have, and I'm gonna call it out because I think it's pathetic, is I don't think by any means, if someone's gonna migrate away, I don't think they're going to cause trouble, because I just don't think it's in their best interest. I know some people might think in the comment section at the end of this video, you might be like, look, if you merge these servers together, like 52, 56, and 78, in theory, what's not stopping KT from just melting everyone in this server before leaving, right? I understand those concerns, and I understand the same concerns as someone like in Empire 40, or even us, right? In Empire 9 and Empire 10 and stuff, right? But I'm going to be honest with you, I think people just don't do that type of shit. Like, I honestly don't think they're going to do that. They've got more respect for themselves, I honestly do think. And the only time you ever see like a Kraken or a whale honestly start zeroing their own server is simple. It's because that server fucked them over. If you mess them over and you just screw them over, can you really blame them? You know what I mean? But if you don't give them an excuse and you work with them and you're fine with them, I don't see any issues occurring, right? I shouldn't honestly see any civil wars. If I see any civil wars happening in here, you guys, I'm going to start making content and farm you guys for my channel. I'm telling you, you're going to be my primary content. So don't start a civil war unless you want to be laughed at by everyone. Because if you start a civil war, I can guarantee you, you will be the weakest merge server to date, and you will stay there forever. And good riddance. So, if you enjoyed today's video going over the mergers, obviously my thoughts, giving you some extra information, let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, I know I've been a little bit ill. Maybe my thought process hasn't been fully as it used to be, as you guys know, through this week. But, you know, I'm ill, so deal with it. But if you enjoyed it, smash that, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.